Hey Hexicans and crypto newbies, welcome. My name is Eco Builder in the Hex community. I am a crypto millionaire and I am in Georgetown, Texas. This is my hometown, which is just north of Austin, and I hope that a few of you are joining me from Austin. I advertise this as a meetup in meetup.com, and some of you have found me there with the name of the organization as Crypto Dividends. Let's do an intro just for the heck of it. Plain girl. Her last name is Gomez, I think.
You right out, telling you right
Oh, sorry
out,
for the
telling
first
you right out, telling you right out.
Let's figure out who's here in the chats. The title of this one is Leave or DCA.
I don't get too fun. 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 That motherfucker back there is not real. Not real. Not real. That motherfucker back there is not real. Not real. You either believe it or they cannot believe it. I am telling you right out. Telling you right out. Telling you right out. Right out. Right out. Telling you right out. Telling you right out. Telling you right out. Right out. Right out. I don't get too fun. I don't get too fun.
That motherfucker back there
I don't
is
get too
not
fun.
real.
Oh, I gotta go stop it before it plays again.
You right out.
Don't play again. All right. This last weekend was the Pulse Conference in Austin, Texas. So it was plsconference.com. Maddie Allen was putting it all in. Maddie All In was putting it on. We had a great time there. A bunch of Hexicans, mix and mingling, people of like newbies all the way to OGs, people who wanted to have a leadership role going forward. I brought all of the Hex marketing material over there and set it up on the back table, and you can see a few of my tweets. This is my Twitter handle. You can see a few of my tweets about that. Also, I just sent off 6 envelopes just now and 3 envelopes yesterday. One of those 6 today was going to New Zealand and Canada, California, and Kansas. So just re-upping some guys and some new people, totaling now 213 or 14 addresses for Hexicans so far. Some of these guys are transient people in the crypto sphere, so they're not 100% Richard Hart products. But I'm only distributing Hex products. I'm not even distributing Pulse chain stuff. Instead, it's just Hex because Hex exists on both Pulse chain and Ethereum. If you're new to all this, I can introduce Hex to you. So the main website is hex.com. The creator of that is Richard Hart. You can find him at richardhart.com. He is a guy who used to be a Bitcoin maxi and then started recognizing the potential in the Ethereum network and how you could create a smart contract on top of that. And so he created a time deposit that you can utilize to earn yield, so you can grow your crypto bag without touching it. Just grow it in time, because this smart contract pays you in the same tokens that you stake. So you grab some tokens, they're Hex tokens, you stake those Hex tokens however many days that you want. You are in control of that. There's no middleman. It's just you and the contract. And then if you have to quit it early, you face penalties. If you end your stake on time, then you receive all of the interest that you have earned, And so you've got your principal plus your interest in the tokens. This is not in US dollars. Instead, it's in the tokens. Now, the reason why this is innovative is because prior to this, you would have to lend out your crypto to third parties in order to earn an amount of interest. And typically, actually all the time, that didn't work because those people weren't making good enough profits to continue this going. Instead, it was kind of like a Ponzi scheme, and eventually things would get depleted. And in a lot of instances, people would run off with your crypto because regulatory bodies haven't yet figured out regulating everything. So often you're lending your coins to an anonymous person, and because technology makes it so easy to pass these cryptos around, they might run off with your coins or trade it, even worse, trade it for a crypto that they do want, and that tanks the price of the crypto that they were just in because they're selling. So later on this evening at, let's see, right now it's 6:37 p.m. At 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I typically join the Austin Bitcoiners meetup. So meetup.com, navigate over to the Austin Bitcoin meetup. There's some good guys in there. They are, most of them are maximalists towards Bitcoin, but the organizer is very open to all of crypto. So I've always been welcomed there. And I have been this steady person to come in and reveal my space here. You know, this is real background. This is not generated. I've been a consistent person to show them that Richard Hart is around and that they should get to know who Richard Hart is. And this was prior to Pulse Chain's release, which is a hard fork of Ethereum network. Richard Hart made his own network, and now we have more freedom and less fees whenever it is that we're doing transactions or stakes. And then came some info about the SEC suing Richard Hart. And so that's just been out for 2.5 weeks or something like that. Maybe just 2 weeks. So that's big news in crypto, and that's advertising the Hex token crypto to the world right now, because everybody watches how it is that the United States government attacks these systems, crypto systems. And this was right before we have a documentary coming out. That documentary came out on Friday. It's a great documentary. It's called The Highest of Stakes. It's nationwide right now at Regal Cinemas, Regal, in the United States. And there are plans for it to soon be picked up in Ireland and the UK. You can find tons of reviews on YouTube or on Twitter, because a lot of these hexagons are following through with supplying those reviews. You can find reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IDMB, or whatever that website is that reviews films. So we have a documentary about it, and we also have a lawsuit about it, this crypto. And we've been running strong for 3.5 years. So 3 years and 8-9 months now. So we are a solid product to get into, to recognize, to study, to DCA into, if it is that you're getting into crypto right now, or that you recognize crypto. Let's say that. If it is that, you know, the bear market hurts people, you know, so like if you didn't plan appropriately, this might be a time that you have to exit. And that's a really sad situation, because you're exiting at the bottom of the market. So crypto, the people who succeed are the people who hold, the people who have patience, the people who do not sell during the lowest of times. So my advice always, if you have euphoria in crypto, go ahead and take some profits, because you don't know what it's going to look like in the future. If you ever get attached to a number, go ahead and take some profits. But if you're sitting in this situation right now where things look like everybody's complaining, people are saying, fuck it, I give up, excuse my language, that's actually a sign, a really good sign of things zeroing down. And for projects or products that are good architecture on the blockchain, good code is going to succeed. And cryptocurrency has it to where there's a human element of how this code interacts with a human. Good ones are going to succeed. And we just have to go through these fluctuations because we've assigned a price to a technology. And this technology has it to where there's units like stock units that you can get involved and be prosperous financially. So I always tell people Richard Hart is the entrepreneur, and we're able to go and be, have financial success by following the things that this guy creates. Now, keep in mind, like some people, if you're new to Hex, you'll look at all the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the rest of crypto has applied to this Richard Hart character. And keep in mind, like, how is it that he still has loyal followers? How is it that people like myself are still rich off of Hex? How is that? It's because Richard takes care of what is necessary. He makes sure that there are people, that there is a appropriate architecture, first of all, appropriate product, and that there's a clear avenue that you can follow to make it to the next round of activity. Because you, as a leader, you have to have a glob of people who are followers, and you have to influence the flows of people. Like that's what currency is a relationship of an item and people willing to exchange it and work for it. There's a belief system there. And so if it was that Richard was just gonna rug pull, meaning like pull all the liquidity out of the markets and have it to where this Hex token goes to zero, what would that achieve? It would achieve nothing. He's here to change the world. Behind me, I've got fix the money, fix the world on the wall in that mural. And that's the saying that he says, because we're all slaving away day by day. Like we wake up on Monday morning. Why? Because we got to go to work and we got to earn that paycheck so that we can pay our bills, and we got to be on somebody else's schedule. But we have to take in that fiat currency because that's what my landlord takes as payment. That's what the city utilities take as payment. That's what the mechanic down the street takes as payment. The grocery store, by the way, grocery store is showing us our inflation. If you go to the grocery store and you get organic, good quality food, I paid $9.50 for a cantaloupe the other day. One. That's the true inflation right there at the grocery store. And I have noticed the gas prices have gone up a little bit lately. Yeah, so if anybody is new here, this is your chance to ask a Hex early bird a truthful or a true question, like, how do I see crypto? What do I see in the landscape? What do I see in the future? What have I experienced? Who is this Richard Hart guy? If you want to see what you can do with Hex token, like how is it that I gain it, stake it, earn interest? How long can I stake for? Things like that. You decide the amount of days, you decide the amount of Hex tokens. It's all up to you. You're interacting with this contract. It's your agreement with the contract. It remembers your wallet. You can go to this website called hex.pink, hex.pink. And that's a fun little website where you can toggle a bar for the values of Hex tokens and for the values of days. And you can see what the rate of return is. And because the rate of return is paid back in Hex tokens and the contract keeps track of all this stuff, you're able to generate an idea of how many tokens you can get back. Now, some people don't understand that whenever it is that I'm talking about, I'm staking Hex tokens, I'm earning Hex tokens, I'm cashing out Hex tokens. It's based on the market price of those Hex tokens, how much US dollars I'm able to get into the bank account. Some people don't understand that the price can go up and down. So then, like, you could end up with more Hex tokens that are worth less. And so that wouldn't be a good time to buy, or that wouldn't be a good time to sell, obviously. I'd like a little bit of feedback on this camera being right in front of me. This is the first time for me to do it exactly this way. I'm sure you can hear the fan in the background. I am heating up in this space. It's another hot day. We've had hot over 100 degrees. It's like 102 outside, I think my computer says. Over 100 degrees for an entire month and no rain. Garden's in the chat, and he's saying that all news is good news. I absolutely agree with that. And he also said that the highest of stakes IMDb rating of 9.2. Whoopsie. That's my computer, y'all. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, the highest of stakes IMDb rating on the website is a 9.2 out of 10. That's pretty stellar. What else is there to talk about? Garden, you want to throw something in the comments, or the other person that's watching? We had 4 people total earlier. I know that Trap Gravity wants to start doing some live streams. That's going to be awesome whenever he finally does that. I might be the guy that's behind the scenes on that sort of thing. I've asked him to do a highlight video of like the things that people are doing with the postcards and the business cards and stickers. And I'm trying to like attract or hit people's Hex adrenal gland. I want people to get excited about passing this information or having tools to utilize whenever passing information to folks, because it really does make it easier whenever you have these marketing tools to pass to people. Because no matter how quick the situation is, you can have a long conversation with them, or you can have a short conversation with them. So we're talking about like, the cashier that you see at the grocery store. Here's your homework. Check out these videos. Or if you need to leave the restaurant, leave it with the waitress. Or possibly it's your friend, and you could give them a little bit of a heads up and tell them that, hey, use me as your main point of contact. So I encourage you guys, if y'all have friends who you're onboarding to crypto, be their point of contact. Don't go and tell them that, like, hey, go follow this guy on YouTube. Instead, you continue to do your homework and make sure that you understand what that other guy on YouTube is talking about. Hey, Moondog, will you check out the Texas chat? Because Infinite is trying to get a hold of you today. He gave me a text message asking me what your number was, and I don't think I have your number. Thanks for doing that. He's got a lot of energy towards talking on Twitter Spaces, I believe, and having a freedom and health Twitter space on that topic. If you guys don't have Twitter, that might be a good way to communicate with other Hexicans. I know that some people don't like to do social media. I totally understand. Over on Facebook, you can search for Pulse Chain groups, PulseX groups, and Hex groups. I think the Hex one is like, it's either 2.5 or 25,000. I forget. But go check that out. Follow Richard Hart Win, Richard Hart WIN on Twitter. That's Richard's main account, and you can find more information about him at richardhart.com. We've got a Texas group, t.me/Hex Texas on Telegram. That's where I just told Moondog that I left him a message. That group is one that some OG Hexicans set up, including myself, and we'll limit just to talking about Hex stuff, but that's the place where we'll communicate meetups. So if there's a meetup happening in Texas, we'll post it in there. Lately, my thing has been to create meetups that are Hex on a bridge. So I'll grab some flags and I'll throw them over the edge of a bridge that has bottleneck traffic underneath it on a Saturday afternoon. And you'll have all sorts of responses from the people down below. It's hilarious. It's great. They keep you energized. So I think the last one we did, we were out there for 3 hours. No, in Houston, we were out there for 2 hours. In Austin, we were out there for 3 hours, and we haven't done it in other cities yet. But I think it's a great idea. And I think that it just takes more people seeing it to respect it, idealize it, instead of people not really understanding it by the description and them not getting excited about it. But we know it's successful if it is that somebody takes a picture of us from down below and then posts it on the internet. And so, yeah, we easily find our own pictures from these people down below saying like, hey, these people are doing this, or hey, if they're complaints, then right back to, if they're complaining about us on the internet, right back to what Garden said earlier, all news is good news. Because we're getting that exposure. So on the Hex on the Bridge thing, the reason why I like it so much is because each municipality doesn't have to travel very far at all. You could maybe even get into a Twitter space and communicate with the other Hex on the Bridge participants from the other municipalities. And you're out there in the open to where you're going to need a break. You're going to need water, maybe sunscreen, definitely a hat to shield yourself, but maybe athletic wear, breathable clothing. you're not going to want to be out there for too long is what I'm getting at. And you're not going to want to like drink alcohol and go sideways. And instead, you're going to be very active, communicating with the people around you, making friends, having fun, waving at people. And it's over. It's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Then it's over. Then we can decide whether to go to lunch or dinner or coffee, whatever. But it gets us going on to the next thing, and people don't have to see it as like a huge day event. Because if we host a meetup at one of these cities, then the other cities have to make an entire day or half a day out of visiting that city and visiting with the people. And then it also spreads the word to absolute normies who are down below, either on their off time or their work time. And the people that are also in the car with the driver are going to be able to pop out of the sunroof or pop out of the side or use their phone camera to scan the QR codes or look up hashtag Hex on Twitter. What is Hex? I'll have people that throw up there, what is this? And I'll say, it's dinero. Good times. So we had the PLS conference this last weekend on Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5. And whenever it let out on Friday at 5, then we had a little bit of time to catch dinner on the way over to the movie theater. And then we all watched the movie theater together. The Highest of Stakes, again, documentary featuring Richard Hart, paid for by some of the Hexicans. And then after that, we went like just down the shopping center just a little bit. This was at Capital of Texas Highway and 183 area in Mopac. That little corner, I forget what they call that. Capitol Plaza area, I'm not sure. So we went to this place called Dave & Buster's, which is kind of like an adult arcade. And I think we had like 33 people at this really long table. So 33 Hexicans, can you imagine it? It was a pretty good time. I didn't play any games at all. I just talked to people and kept from drinking alcohol though. Every day that I brought stickers over there to the conference, those stickers were taken off the table pretty fast. So everybody's liking the bumper stickers and the hex stickers that are like a 1x3. And I got a lot of props for those certificates that look like dollar bills, where I'm suggesting people put their email address on it, and it has guidelines on how to set up a MetaMask wallet. And the idea is that when this person that you sponsor emails you their MetaMask wallet address, you send to their MetaMask wallet address an HSI stake, which means it's a hex stake, but it's wrapped up like an NFT, and you can send it from wallet to wallet. So this was a way that somebody that you potentially want to onboard will meet you halfway, and you're gifting them staked hex instead of liquid hex, so they're less likely to sell it, and it definitely gets the hex locked up and off the market. And my suggestion was a 5-year stake, very minimum, like $5 sort of thing. And so I talked to one of the guys, and his interest was like, he's going to throw a party this coming, like within 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And he wants to make one that's more geared towards his party. Like it's themed for his stuff. And it's laid out specifically how he wants it. And I was like, yeah, we could trade out these words and stuff. You just let me know. I could be your Photoshop guy for it. And you could get it printed off at a local printer to you or my local printer here. And I started, and then also Matty Allen, that was really cool. Like, this guy's encouraging this. Then Matty Allen, he sees my certificates, and he's always had this idea of having the metal coins, and the metal coins have the private key stamped into it. And so he and I talked later on at like happy hour, and he said that there's like this one Bitcoin early guy, and I forgot what he said his location was, but he's been a guy that's been dependable on setting up these Bitcoin wallets and stamping on the outside of a coin the private key so that whoever has the coin can type in exactly the private key and have access to those funds. It's always been an issue to me because, like, that person has to be trusted, the person who creates the coin in the first place. And I never have liked those coins that then have the coins were just bare and they were just a representation, and then the private keys are written on a piece of paper that you like peel away so that you know that the seal has been broken. So somebody has seen this before. Anytime somebody has private keys, anytime somebody has your password, they have access to your coins. That's what makes crypto so awesome, is it's a network of computers, and as long as you have the passwords, you're able to get into the ledger and move coins out of the wallet that you have the password to. There's also a thing called a paper wallet, which is just like these coins that I was just talking about, but it's in a paper format. Well, with these HSIs, we're able to do things just a little bit differently. And so I started getting this enthusiasm because everybody's talking about these HSI certificates that I created that look like dollar bills. I'm interested in reformulating what those things look like and make them a little bit more sexier. Like right now, I've been using green, like I've been using the conceptual colors of the US dollar, but I'm thinking about using a gradient, sort of like what we see with foreign currencies. So let me show you what one of these look like. I have updated it since these. I think these are old ones with this was done by a printer that I no longer use because they kind of screwed it up. So this is what the thing looks like. And I like to add some gold Sharpie to this as well to make it pop. Here's the backside. So there's tons of QRs to YouTube channels that are recommended to onboarders. And notice that this says 5-year. And so the idea is that you put your email address here in this middle box, and then there's instructions for them to set up a MetaMask wallet and send that address to that email address. And then that way your onboard has done some work to accept this gift, and you're not just wasting money. Thanks for the compliment, Garden. So can you guys imagine these HSI certificates having a color gradient of hex and then having like a play of a white silhouette masking over the top of it? Because I just threw this together just to get the process running. And now I'm interested in revisiting the process and making it a little bit better. And maybe I'll change the 5-year to a 3-year based on how the market is right now. Or what would be sexier? Like 7-year, 10-year, 11-year? Because whenever it is that somebody's new to Hex, I always recommend, it's usually men, right, that you're talking to about crypto. about their interest in crypto, I always recommend whatever it is that a Saturday night out with your lady, whatever that price is, sacrifice that price for 15 years. And that's like flying a kite out there and always paying attention to it. And so you'll be able to follow how much interest am I earning? What's the value of this thing as it goes up and down in the market price? That will keep that small amount of money will keep your interest in the product and keep it to where like you keep tools in crypto close to you. It stays relevant in your investment portfolio. And so you're interested in continuing to learn in this technology that's really sprouting, just like the .com bubble. Bubble. Why did I say that? Just like the .coms that came out, like they didn't go away. Instead, they completely changed the fabric of society. And like most of you that have navigated over to this crypto dividends meetup group, the reason why you're here is because you recognize that inflation has gotten out of hand with the US dollar. And you understand now that we got off the gold standard. We don't back our money with precious metals anymore. And the joke is that we back our money with the organization of our weaponry, with our military. And our government's sitting there lying to us about the state of things. And so a lot of you are trying to find a stable place or a place to excel. And this crypto stuff, it's not going away. The TV tells you that Bitcoin is dead over and over and over. And really, these large banks or investment firms, they're buying Bitcoin right now. They want it to go down so that they can scoop it up. We at another time we could talk about the differences between this Hex token and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other coins that are out there. What makes Hex so special compared to all these coins that are out there? I started with it in the beginning. Hex is a smart contract that you can interact with directly in order to grow your bag of crypto, in order to earn a yield. That's what I wanted in the first place. Whenever I got into crypto, I bought my first Bitcoin at an ATM. I put $100 bill into an ATM, and I wanted to grow that Bitcoin and let it sit there, but there weren't any options. Well, there was one option. It was called BitConnect. And if you go look up BitConnect, you will find out that it was a type of Ponzi scheme that had huge promises, and it was a matter of time until that thing fell apart. And whenever it was that you sent your coins, your Bitcoins, to the BitConnect contract or whatever the hell it was, their address that they told you to, like whenever you set up an account with Bitcoin or with BitConnect, then you would have an account with them just like you would have an account with Coinbase, let's say. And once it's in that possession, either that or once it is that you stake it, then you have no opportunity to get it out before like 3 years down the line. And that's what they were doing, was they were getting enough people in 1 year to submit their tokens for a promised huge upside. And they would read you off like fake live stats of like, wow, that's a huge upside. That sounds awesome. I'm going to put more in there. No one, except for the very, very early guys, in order to cover up the fraud that they were doing, no one but those early guys got anything out of it. And so that was just one of those times where the architecture was built inappropriately and it wasn't transparent enough. So, and there weren't like audacious guys in the room to say, hey, these guys are full of shit, in order to warn people. And so a lot of people got scammed. And that's what happens in crypto. We don't necessarily need government regulation. We need people to investigate themselves. It's like, you don't need government regulation on like chewing your fingernails. You just need to know what to put in your body and what not to put in your body. You need to know what to get into financially and what not to get into financially. So in the Hex community, lately with this documentary, The Highest of Stakes, we've been really emphasizing that a lot of these people have lost their 401ks. Like, people who think that they have $200,000 really have $10,000. I can just imagine working corporate world for 20, 30 years and thinking that, yeah, I could get close to retirement. And as retirement gets closer and closer, I need to continue to work. And then it just seems like, what the heck have I done with my life? So the reason why I didn't like my 401k at corporate world is because they were telling me only these limited mutual funds could you put your money into. And that's how they succeed. But we've got a different option for you. Why don't you put your 401k with hex.com with these hex tokens? With talking about these hex tokens and time periods, and I told you the amount of days you get to decide. So you could have it to where like each stake stands alone, by the way. So you could stake out a little bit for each year going outward. And if the market's up when you have a stake that comes out, you could sell that. And if the market's down when the stake comes out, you could restake it for another time. Maybe divide it up. I don't know. It's up to you. We've got all sorts of strategies, and we've got all sorts of tools made by the community. One of my friends created a website called Hex Daily Stats. That's a great one. Stakehex.today. That's a fun one. I talked about hex.pink earlier. You can utilize that with the toggle bars. That's a fun one. It's a really good one because it's nice and simple. It's not confusing. So in crypto, a lot of people are like wanting to socially verify things. So if you come into a space, you read the room, and you figure out who seems confident, right? So don't be fooled by some of these assholes that fake confidence and they're onto another coin the next month. Instead, check out Richard Hart, who doesn't waver, and come join us Hexicans, because we are awesome. And the reason why we're awesome, for all of you people who are brand new to crypto, the reason why we're awesome is because this product, hex.com, with the ladder staking, it has delayed gratification built into it. And that's a very good nurturing thing for the human body to experience, waiting out your time periods. And so what I always recommend people, this may be, this may not fit you exactly right now, but what I tell people is figure out how you want to ladder out your stakes and everything, and then go do something else. Go pay attention to your passions and really refine those. Get really good at it, because in the future, you're going to have more money coming to you. And in some cases, it might look like a lottery winning, to where you don't want that amount of money to just make you unstable in your life. You need to have your shit together before you become wealthy. Otherwise, you'll still be the same person. And you won't know. Your mind won't know what to do with your new capabilities. Moondog says, come on with us. All right. So I'll just wrap that up. And if you want to see, let's see, Hex Futures, my last video or the video before that is a review of the Highest Stakes movie. It's a spoiler. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert. And it's like a $12 movie if you have a Regal Cinema locally, REGAL. I think everybody's showing went really well except for South Carolina. Somehow they mailed them the wrong reel from whatever library it is that distributes these movies. So they accidentally played a different movie for about 30 minutes, and everybody in the movie theater thought that it was just a really long infomercial. So eventually the manager came in and explained the situation and gave them a refund and said, like, hey, you know, it's not even here. So we're going to have to tell you to come back later. But it's been a great success so far. Like Garden said earlier, a 9.2 out of 10 rating. I'm not sure what it says on Rotten Tomatoes. And then also keep in mind, guys, that like everybody who's new, Richard has been a thought leader who used to be a Bitcoin maxi. So he gets hate from the current Bitcoin maxis and a lot of the other crypto sphere. But it's so funny because he's able to walk circles or talk circles around these guys. And he's a very wealthy crypto individual, and he's fixing the money, fixing the world. And it's our job to be the working ants fixing the world. It's up to us. We have to take on responsibilities. So we need to find our passion, our God-given gift. We need to find that and just destroy our ego or have a healthy relationship with our ego and offer our passion, our potential, our talent to the world and start living our dreams. Cool. So stake your hex, and I'll see you later. Adios, guys. And thanks so much for joining me. And if you're from the meetup, welcome, man. And if you missed this, then I'm going to put this in your inbox as well. So consider subscribing for notifications. Consider giving me a like, please, for the algo, a comment afterwards. I'll gladly get in a conversation with you in the comments if it is that you're late to this video. And again, I'm in Georgetown, Texas, which is just 20 miles north of Austin on I-35. And you're welcome to meet with me in the flesh or track me down on Twitter, and I will give you my honest opinion. Definitely, because I'm an unwavering Hexican. There are some people who claim to be a part of our community, and then they don't define where the boundary lines of our community are. And what I've been telling people lately, like, we always go through fads or phases or something like in the community where I learn a new way of explaining things to people. If you were ever an admin inside of a hex group, you have a responsibility to make sure that there aren't any loose ends, and a responsibility to warn folks of the pitfalls of socially interacting with some folks who have interest for their own finances, but no interest for protecting your finances, because there's always a wallet left behind whenever it is that you're inside of a project that's not any good. There's always somebody who's going to step away for a little while and come back and be like, well, wait a minute, that sure did go down in value. I wasn't paying attention. I should have been paying attention. Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't have been involved financially in that product in the first place. So HEX is something that you're constantly earning interest in the background. So price go up, price go down. Because you staked your HEX, you're constantly earning interest. So it doesn't take your daily attention. And instead, you can kind of keep in your head, like, I'm making, say, 3,000 HEX per day because of my stakes. So you can calculate in your head what is that based on the market value. And then also you can utilize these tools that I talked about earlier in order to see your statistics, how well you're doing in your portfolio. And be careful about, like, all you newbies, don't keep your coins on exchanges. Have private wallets that you have the password to. Keep that password safe. If you were to keep your coins on an account on an exchange, there's a possibility that your government could disagree with the exchange and not allow you access anymore, or the exchange wouldn't allow you access in order to not be prosecuted by the government. Or there could be a hack in the code, and that exchange may not have enough funds to compensate you for that hack. So recognize that whenever you sign up with an exchange, you just have an account with them. They're the ones who have your crypto. You just have a digit that keeps track of how much of that pool of crypto that you're supposed to be in charge of. And whenever it is that you send it off the exchange onto a private wallet that you have the keys, passwords, then it's a much safer situation. You're not reliant on anyone else. Instead, you've protected yourself by being a distant away. All right, cool. I guess I'll end there, even though I'd like to ramble on. So it's 23 past the hour of 7. So everybody this is Central Time, everybody in the Austin area is welcome to come over to meetup.com and check out the Bitcoiners virtual meetup that started 23 minutes ago. And if you have an address for me, let me know. Give me either a Twitter or a Telegram. Give me your address. You can have a conversation with me prior to make sure that you know that it's me that you're talking to before you give this person an address. I'll take PO boxes, residences, your mom's house. I really don't care. Your friend's house, your cousin's house, some newbie down the street. I could send them a newbie letter that would intrigue them towards, like, not poo-pooing on this Bitcoin stuff that's gaining interest, and point them towards Richard Hart and attach them to Richard Hart, because Richard Hart is the unwavering thought leader, influencer that protects his followers. So what I'm recommending is that I'm able to give you business cards, stickers, magnets, these magnets that hold up on the outside of your car. You could be advertising HEX with a magnet or a bumper sticker. The magnets are about this size, because it fits inside of an envelope quite easily. The bumper stickers are like this size, like 9x4 or something. But these business cards, they're great for quick situations and long situations. And also, I'm up to designing them with you. I'm just fine with that. If you have card design ideas, we can get 5,000 of them printed off for $75 delivered to your house. And that's through Philip Banks, our hexagon printer. He's the one who prints the hex postcards, and he's also the one who prints my business size cards, the small ones. Hex postcards are like a 9x6, 9x6.5. Here soon, I should be getting some door hangers for a project that I'm creating where Fashion Coder, of all people, has agreed to do a giveaway. So if I figure out how to create a door hanger and a contest, I'll provide the hex for the contest. And she'll be the face of it, and she'll take people's registration in order to spin a virtual wheel, and maybe we could give out 10,000 hex to 10 different people or something like that. I'm not sure. But my goal is for that to happen, for the finale live stream to happen right after Thanksgiving or something like that, so that people are talking to their family around Thanksgiving, around the holidays, right before Christmas. And that will give me enough time. Right now it's August 8th. So 8/8/23. That'll give me enough time to iron this stuff out and send it out to all the addresses that I have, plus some. And so that hexagons on feet can visit these houses that are prominent houses in their area and see if they can hang a door sign or a door hanger on their front door. And that also makes it to where we can bypass the expense of mailing, because it's like mailing a postcard is between 25 and 38 cents each, I believe. It just depends on the area. So the way that we've been doing that is every door delivery mail, EDDM, through the United States Postal Service, USPS. You can find more information on their website, and they have an interactive map where you can select all zip codes, all of a zip code, or you can select routes within a zip code. So you can really narrow down your focus. And so if somebody is from that area, they'll recognize that route and say, yeah, that route's desirable. This other route isn't. So we just peel this one off, and we just saved that money. But with the door hangers, we've got it to where we're not paying the USPS. Instead, well, I'm paying a little bit in order to get it in the hands of the hexagons, but it's a minute amount compared to what we would be paying. And then also, of course, if you live in the States, you know that each mailbox is actually property of the United States government. So you're not allowed to violate somebody's mailbox. You're not allowed to put mail into somebody's mailbox without a stamp, or you're not even supposed to do it yourself. So it would be great if hexagons were on feet, going door to door, hanging these things. If they get stopped by the residential owner, then having the conversation, having extra things in their hand to pass them. I think it'd be great. Moondog's got a comment. 10,000 hex is nice, he says. I think he's saying, hey, give me a heads up, and he'll help spread the word with me. That's awesome, man. We gotta
We got to do a network effect on this. All right, so I've been an hour, so I'm really going to go this time. Thanks for being here, everybody. And nothing has changed. We are changing the world. See you guys. For yourself.